Konnichiwa, y'all, and welcome to the 10 at 10 for September 12th of 2024. We got a good lineup here for you today. I'm Matt. I've got Kate with me again today.
Hey, it's nice to see everybody. So up here we're starting with a Merlot. This is a type of red bud. And, you know, part of its name is just because it has some really beautiful purple-red foliage. And I love the glossy colored quality to the leaves, too.
Yeah, that's a great point. This one's known for getting some of the shiniest, glossiest foliage. Introduction by Dennis Werner. He's come up with some great ones. That's the same guy that came up with Flamethrower. So many cool plants coming out of the NC State breeding program. One of his early ones here were Merlot. Dark, lavender, purple colors, shiny, glossy foliage. This one's going to work zone 6 through 9 and get to around 10 to 12 foot in that 10-year period. Nice bushy tree, though. It tends to be a little bit wider than it is tall.
Yeah, and it has those beautiful pink lavender flowers, too, in the spring. So there's so much seasonal interest. And, you know, they just also have that rich quality to them. That's why they have, you know, that kind of reminiscent of the wine Merlot. So
sweet tree, love it. Grab your Merlot, pour a little Merlot out in the garden. And these are in our courts. All right, y'all, next up, we've got Acer Palmatum Shigi no Hoshi.
Yeah, so stopping off at reticulation station because these have some really cool reticulation in the spring. They have a white color, but then some really great green veining, so it's a really showy maple.
I like the reticulation station. The reticulation station's got a train leaving from MrMaple every Tuesday and Thursday. I love it. This is an OG reticulated one. Shigi no Hoshi's been around for a while, from Japan. Love its small quality, but also that reticulation is just paramount. It really can get some like white lime green shades to it in the early spring, great golden yellow fall colors, and a smaller overall stature than a lot of the other upright reticulated forms.
And they have such nice, highly serrated leaves that sometimes in the fall they almost remind me of snowflakes. They're just really beautiful qualities to the leaf.
Oh, I love this one. Give it some late day shade for its best color. This is going to work zones 5 through 9. Great candidate for container garden. I love pairing Shigi no Hoshi with something like Amagi Shiguri, another one from Japan. You can get some stark contrast in colors with.
Yeah, if I remember reading right, I think it's the smallest reticulated upright, so it really has a beautiful rarity to it.
Great tree, grab you one today. Great dwarf compactness, typically around 5 foot even in 10 years, so it does keep that stature really nice. Another one from Yanada Tanaka Tsukasa Maple Nursery, so cool plant there. Grab you one today on the 10 at 10. All right, Kate, what do we got next here?
Yeah, so up here we have a Rouzu, and it might be for you if you really love just a beautiful compact growth habit to it. I really love also the salmon pink color that it starts out with in the spring. It just has such a beautiful, pretty, and pink color to it.
Yeah, not to be confused. There's a lot of Ryus in maples. Ryu means dragon. You'll see Ryu 2, Rouzu, Ryumon. There's a lot of Ryus going on. Rouzu, a fun, compact dwarf, y'all. You're going to love this one for its habit. It fits well in any of the Makawa gardens. That density's nice. It's a great pairing with something like Kurohime that we had before on a 10 at 10. Lovely, kind of a green version of that, if you will. Absolutely love it, though. That pink's flush in the spring is really nice. It's a fun one for a container garden as well. I say that a lot, but that dense, small habit to it lends itself very well for a small container garden. Another fun pairing for this one, shape-wise, would be something like Hime Sojo, which look really nice with this.
That would look, I could really picture that in a garden. That'd be beautiful. But I also just love these ones that have so many different colors to them. You know, starting out with that pink to the, dark color that it gets in the summer, and then the beautiful bright orange fall color that it gets. It's really fun to see maples throughout the year.
I've never seen this one done as a bonsai, but you do get some really small foliage on the older growth, which would be really cool. So it might make a cool bonsai, although it would be a rare one for that. These are grafted, but it'd be a fun experiment. I love this one for its stature. That smaller habit, it's got a lot of great spaces in the garden. So a lot of places are looking for smaller, more compact. If you're a collector of like Kiyohimes, got to get you a Rouzu.
Yeah, get in the collection.
All right, one of my favorites up next.
Yeah, so here we have Moonrise. There's some chartreuse on the loose with this beautiful color. And I think it's so fun how it almost has that ombre effect with the bright pink leaves in the summer. Oh,
it pairs so well with itself, right? This one looks cool without anything else in the garden. You can get that apricot pink in the spring, that yellow chartreuse. Even now, the new growth. I mean, we're in September, and the new growth is amazing on this. It's got great color going on. This is an introduction by our friend Carl Munn. Great mentor to Tim and I. He's up there with Talon Buchholz as guys that influence our career. I actually went and took a grafting seminar with him down at Pat Dye's place when I was just getting started, and he told me he learned to graft from J.D. Vertrees. So I felt like I was getting it right from the source when I was learning from him. Love Carl, love his wife. They're awesome people. You're going to love Moonrise, though. It is one of the best Jerusalem's that's ever been invented. I think maybe the best. It's a great one, though. I love it here in the South. It's a good grower. Good and work zones 5 through 9, and it can handle a little bit more sun than a lot of the other full moons in some of your hotter spots. You still want to get some late day shade in your extreme heats, but it's one that does perform well, very well in a high heat setting.
Yeah, so it's hardy, but I also just love, it has such a carefree quality to it. The leaves, the shape kind of reminds me of a hand. So it's almost kind of, it's like it's waving you in the wind. It has a positive, bright quality to it.
Oh, I love that. It's a good plant, y'all. There's a big one here in Maplewood Gardens as well. I show it off a lot. There's one in Maplewood Gardens that's well over 20-something years old. Big base to it. They like to have more of that kind of dome shape to them. So you get a real interesting habit to it. They like to get a little bit wider, multi-stemmed as they fill out. It's a beautiful tree. That one's growing in full sun here in zone 6B. So check that out. Moonrise though, you know this one, guys. It sells out quickly on Mr. Maple. Grab you one today. All right, I did a short a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people have been asking when this one's coming back. Well, here it is today, guys, on a 10 at 10. We've got Acer palmatum Otaha.
Yeah, and I love this, you know, just beautiful bright pink foliage that it has. It's such an interesting dwarf. It only gets to be about 3 or 4 feet in height, so it has just a nice, beautiful, compact quality to it.
This one is crazy pink in the spring. It's a fun dwarf, y'all. It's basically a more durable Benihime. So we've offered Benihime before. Can be a little tricky at sighting this. Otaha tends to be a little bit more durable. A lot of those similar characteristics though. Older growth can be a light green. New growth can be, it can rival Phoenix. It can rival Acer palmatum Phoenix for that pink red. Really a colorful plant. Another one that's fun for a container garden. You want to make sure this one has good drainage, and you want to make sure not to be fertilizing it late. Any of those dwarf heme forms want to be shutting down for winter. Absolutely love what this one does though. You're going to love the color contrast. I mean, you can put this out there with so many different maples and it's going to really show out.
And I think it's interesting too how it has such an extended inner central lobe. It has a beautiful quality to the leaf. They're very petite. But then you're really not sacrificing anything with such a hardy grower. So, you know, it's kind of like the aha moment with Otaha. You can have whatever you really like if you find the right maple.
Grab an Otaha today, y'all. Great plant. Dun, 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 dun. All right, next up, y'all, we got Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, so with Eye of the Tiger, it's the thrill of the bright fall foliage instead. But I really love the orange-red quality that it gets. And it was a sport off of Tiger Rose, so it has a cool history to it too.
Yeah, we actually found this one here at our nursery. Tim and I were probably thinking about listening to some rock and roll, maybe some classic rock when we were hearing this one. Maybe Eye of the Tiger was on. We name a lot of trees based off what music we were listening to at the time. That's how we got a gold digger and a cashmere. But love this plant. This one has some incredible colors. You're going to love it. It's vigorous. Eye of the Tiger will have some yellow interest in the spring in the eye to more of a bronzing red on the outer part. Again, this time of the year in September, they can be a bit green, but it's a vigorous lace leaf with a ton of great color.
And I love the weeping lace leaves because they have such an elegant quality to them. They do so well in different rock gardens. It has a nice petite size to it as well, so it's a really beautiful grower.
Excellent candidate for container garden. This is going to pair well with many of your classic lace leaves. So if you already have a waterfall or a crimson queen, something like a red dragon, Eye of the Tiger is going to go out there. It's going to give you something completely different. Great kind of an orangey red fall color to this one as well. Not uncommon for this one to be 5 to 6 feet tall, 5 to 6 foot wide, and a 10-year span. So a nice size lace leaf. Gets out there, fills out very nicely. Very, very similar in growth rate to that of something like Tamukiyama. So it fills out, very durable in heat as well. It's been one that's been doing pretty well. Now you will hold some of the spring colors a little later into the season if you're giving it some more late day shade. Absolutely love the color on this one though. It's a showstopper, and hey, you can play some Rocky. You can do your workout while you're planting your Eye of the Tiger.
Yeah, and you know, it's strong like a tiger.
All right, what do we have next, Kate?
Yeah, so here we have a frosted purple. You know, it's going into those summer months, but you can still stay cool with one of these. Because what's really awesome about it, I think, is that it has that purple pink reticulation, but it also, that reticulated quality oftentimes stays throughout the summer. So it's...
So almost made their great joke with the tiger, but now we got the frosted flakes. Frosted purple is awesome. This is introduction by Talon Buchholz, y'all. Talon's got some of the best trees ever named. Everybody loves his collection. This is what we consider one of his new ghosts. And it's perfectly named too because you get a lighter, weird shade of purple going on. So you get a lot of creamy infused with that purple, especially the early spring. Mid-sized tree around 8 foot in 10 years. Nice grower, but guys, the color on this one is really special.
They just always stand out in the greenhouse because it's like, how often do you really see a frosted, such saturated purple in nature? It's, you know, maybe a couple times in flowers, but these leaves really stay on for a long time.
We could have put it with the frosted strawberry. You can have you a whole flavored garden going on there. I love it. This is a fun tree. I know when I first got this one from Talon, I was in Mom and Dad's basement. It arrived in a box. I come outside and I couldn't even believe that Talon sent us this gift. It's been like 15 years ago, but we got one of the very first ones to ever leave the Buckholtz farm. It's been a staple for us here ever since. We try to produce as many of them as possible. I think you're gonna love Frosted Purple, especially in that spring garden. It is a standout.
Yeah, it's beautiful, and then it also has a nice height to it, 8 to 10 feet at maturity, so it's just a beautiful upright.
Another one that's gonna work zones 5 through 9, great size 1 gallons right now. Grab you a Frosted Purple today on the 10 at 10. All right, next up, y'all, we've got Acer Palmatum Koto Maru. This one has like the maximum amount of labels. I think we got 3 labels on this plant.
That might be a record. But here, yeah, they're just beautiful. I love how they have the rounded central lobe to them in the center of the leaves. So it's just a really interesting leaf quality to it. But also just the yellow-green color and then the kind of reddy border. They have such a beautiful, impactful quality to the tree.
I love this one. It's dense. They're a little leggy right now this time of the year, but they'll densen up as they fill out in the ground. This one reminds me almost like a witch's broom on something like a kiyohime. You get that purple border in the early spring. You get that short and center node that Kate was mentioning. I love how it looks. It makes it kind of have a more bubbly, rounded appearance to it. Again, these will densen up in the ground. They're vigorous when young, kind of like the Pink Princess. They'll get out there a little bit first, but then they'll thicken out and they'll get more dense and full. So it tends to be one of a small ball shape. So think of this one fitting more in that kiyohime kind of family, but with that short and center node. Heavy Matsumuri leaf gives it a real frilly, kind of a regal look overall to it.
Yeah, and it makes sense. The Japanese name is rounded harp, so it really does have that rounded, elegant quality to it. So it does have just a striking presence to it.
Great in the container, also very heat tolerant. So this one's a great pairing with something like Shayna. Durable, goes out in the ground, does a great job at staying small and compact. Again, they'll get a little bit out there at first, but then they're going to slow down and round out.
Yeah, I wish I was a little bit more heat tolerant today. It's a little...
We're cooking out here, but the 10 at 10s must go on.
Yes.
All right, guys, one of my favorite dwarf cherries, we've got Prunus incisa Cojo Noy.
Yeah, and it's so cool because it has this like amazing architectural shape. There's so many zigzags to just one individual branch. I don't know if you guys can see this one, but it has such a nice open canopy to it. These petite serrated leaves are just so elegant.
This is a dwarf contorted cherry with some incredible blooms. I have a nice specimen of this here at MrMaple in the ground. It is an exquisite pink in the early spring. You get some great flowers on this one, but that contorted foliage makes it very interesting. It looks great in a small area. You can put it in a container, you know, typically around 6 foot, even in 10 years. I originally got this plant from Don Shadow, who's a famous nurseryman. He showed me this and I just love the overall color and habit of it. That spring flower though is so nice for a dwarf contorted overall shape. I mean, it's like you get a lot of what you like with like a Harry Lauder walking stick tree, but then with the flowers of a cherry.
Yeah, you know, beautiful floral stem and then the beautiful tree, the beautiful floral element in the spring. It's just a, you know, knock out of the park tree. And then also I was thinking too with the bark, cherry trees also always have that little dotted noted bark. And then as it matures, it turns kind of a shinier gray. So it just has a beautiful, elegant presence regardless of the time of year.
Yeah, I've had the flowers start out almost white, and then as you get some cooler spring nights, get more of that pink infused in there. So it's not uncommon for half the tree to be more white, half the tree to be more pink, which gives it even more of a cool setting. Typically it all kind of gets to more of a bold pink by the end. Super showy on that flower though, but the contorted habit, it makes it super funky. I love weird plants, and this one kind of goes in every direction. That contortedness really gives it a unique habit. What I tend to do is kind of give it a good central leader for a few years and then just let it go crazy on top of there. The one I have has grown into a nice kind of pyramid, but you get these interesting zigzags and kind of a vase shape, upside down pyramid, more of a vase shape going on, but these crazy zigzags coming out of there, and it makes such a nice palette for that spring flower as well.
Yeah, romance of a cherry tree, but the zigzag coolness of the MrMaple tree.
Love it. All right, y'all, so some great sizes this time of the year as well. We've got some just absolute massive 1 gallons going on in Kristen Star.
Yeah, so it's another Area 1 introduction, so you already know it's out of this world. But what I think is so cool about this is how it leaves out to that coral orange color, but then it just slowly turns to chartreuse, so it has so much interest, even just from fall to summer.
Great plant, named by Bill and Kristen Taylor. We got to introduce it here at our farm from them. They live down in Spartanburg, South Carolina. I went and saw this plant, and Bill Taylor was walking up to it, and he said, I've been growing this seedling for over 10 years, and I mean, I about fell over. The thing was just glowing in that spring orange. It is a phenomenal color. Reminds me a lot of Akane, but a much more durable Akane. I do love how multi-stemmed it gets as well. This one's one we sell out of. It's a MrMaple introduction, but people have been singing its praises for years. We first debuted this one, I think, at like our 2013 open house. It was early on. We brought it out open house, and it was an absolute hit And you'll see this one in our Facebook group and a lot of pictures, Mr. Maple Friends. A lot of people will be sharing those spring photos. But really, the overall tree is just a great plant. Small, compact, and dense. Tends to be more multi-stem, tends to be very wide in its growth, so a really nice habit to it. A 6-foot tall tree can easily get about 5 to 6 feet wide. Just kind of have a small sprawling appearance to it. And that spring color will absolutely knock you out.
And I love how open of a canopy it is for such a compact and small tree. So it has so much interest, but then it's also still has some nice airflow and really just still elegant and doesn't take up too much space visually. Excellent sizes in these right now, guys. These are huge. I love when I know somebody that named something cool and I get to get their tree out there more. So Bill and Kristen Taylor, thanks for helping us get this one a long time ago. We've been growing it here for well over 10 years now at Mr. Maple. It is a very popular one, but whenever we bring it back, it tends to sell out. So don't wait with this one in cart. I hope you had a good day today watching our 10 at 10. Y'all make sure to like and subscribe. Our channel's been blowing up. We're right at 30,000 subs right now. I really appreciate you guys being part of that Maple Mafia. All right, take care. God bless.
And have a great day.